All right, welcome to the People's Fantasy Football Podcast. This is our start sit show. I'm Doug By, once again with Mike Rossi, Joey G Money Ginolfi, and Andrew Garganese. Joey, where you in the woods this time?
Yeah, man, I just got back from Maine. We were in the woods all weekend. It was great.
So you're
Nice
feeling
guys
woodsy.
bonding trip. Feeling one with nature.
Good. So we're going to be talking our start sits today. We're also going to be doing 3 storylines that each of us are looking for this coming season or this week 1. And then there's also 2 big news items I want to get to. What are you guys laughing at? What is he laughing
Mike,
at?
I don't know. Mike's face went.
Mike
Did not just
shit
spill
up.
my drink all over me. Don't worry. Keep going, Doug. Everything's fine. Everyone's fine. We're good.
All right.
I thought Mike heard another trade rumor like Elijah Moore, but not sure.
Mike had a stroke and just couldn't get the water in the mouth. What are you drinking tonight, Mike?
Hornitos. A little tequila salsa
Nice. And a can.
in a can. Yes.
Is that good?
Yes. Yeah, they're all right. It's seltzer. It does the job, you know. It gets the anxiety to go away, so I can actually talk on a microphone. You know.
So much, right?
All right. Let's get to the news items. So Cup is officially ruled out for week 1, and that's a big deal. But also McVay is saying that he hasn't ruled out him going on the IR, which I believe he'd have to miss 4 games if he goes on the IR. So, Andy, what are you thinking about all that right now?
Hammies are the worst. Everybody knows these hammies, when they happen, they seem to always linger all season. I didn't really draft in the front at all this year, but in my auction drafts, I kind of stayed away from Cup because I'm scared of hammies. This is, if he misses 4, fucking huge. And if he misses 4 weeks, that hammy's in bad shape, and he's probably not performing at the Cup level all season. So if you can get, 100 cents on the dollar for him right now, I'd move him if you can. Otherwise, you might just be sitting there holding your nuts for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Mike, you just drafted him in the 3rd round in a draft last night that we were in. How you feeling about that?
I mean, to be completely honest, Doug, and no offense to you, to your draft, but it was my kind of just like last minute shit league, and I was like, you know what, if I'm going to take a chance, this is the league I'm doing it in. So,
well, I want to make it clear that it kind of was a last minute shit league.
Exactly.
We just wanted to do a super flex league just to do it, and so we did it, and you drafted while on the highway. So.
Yeah, I did. Hey. And you know what? In the 3rd round, I'm willing to take the chance there. And honestly, if you're somebody that didn't draft Cooper Kupp and you got this news and you think that there's a chance he's going to be back week 3, week 4, week 5, then go trade for him. I mean, you can probably get him for 25% of the draft cost or whatever it was. Then go make some shit offers and see who's desperate to get him off their team.
Yeah, hey, I'm glad I have a wide receiver 1 in the auction league now. Finally.
Oh, Van Jefferson. That's right. You do.
It's got Van Jefferson.
Have a wide receiver 1. Yeah.
Who would you trade for him? Like, would you trade if you had Jahan Dotson? Would you trade him for him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How about DJ Moore?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Keenan Allen?
No.
Okay, so that's kind
of.
No,
I think that's
your cutoff.
Probably that's like the line right there is Keenan Allen. Yeah.
Like Amari Cooper. Would you do that?
I wouldn't. I would not Cooper.
I would, but they're both higher than.
Yeah,
than
I would too.
Cooper.
Yeah, they are.
So
that's probably the cutoff line, right around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The other news story is Kelsey's officially questionable for week 1. He hyperextended his knee yesterday. I don't know. I think if the Chiefs are smart, they probably shouldn't play him and just, give him 10 days extra rest and not screw up his season. But Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm the Chiefs, I'm not playing in week 1. I know you want to win the season opener coming off your championship season, but you got to do what's the smartest thing for the team. Lions don't have an amazing defense. I think this is one that you can get into a shootout and try to go at your speed wide receivers on. I'm looking, if I got Kelsey, Rossi did a post the other day. I look for a guy like Jake Ferguson to pick up and go with that matchup and see what he's going to bring to the table week 1 as a wild card.
Yeah, someone like that in the waiver. I know, Mike, you said Jawan Johnson. He's only 42% owned. I was surprised to see that.
Yeah, and now for the record, if Tyler Higbee is out there, I think we all agree that's the guy, right? Like I know he's 65% owned, so he's not allowed there and in a lot of leagues, but
I think it's all
if he's
Andy's
out
leagues
there,
too. I think he owns all 65%.
Yeah, exactly.
I do.
But go get Tyler Higbee if he's available.
Yeah, agreed.
Mhm.
All right. And would you guys think of trading him right now, or trading for him, if a manager is getting a little scared about it?
I would trade for him in a heartbeat if the manager is scared. I'm not trading him. I would never draft a tight end that early, but if I had him, for those people who do have him, do not get rid of him. Trust it. I don't think it's going to be a crazy lingering. I think if anything, they'll play safe early on, sit him for a couple weeks, and tight end. I think there's some matchup options in the waiver wire you can play.
Yeah, and when you look at Kelsey, I mean he's a tight end 1 still. And if you were going to trade him and you say, let's say you could offer for the tight end 2, Kelsey for Mark Andrews, you still have the injury risk with Mark Andrews. It's not like he's a healthy guy. So if you're going to play the game of, is he there? Is he not? And is he going to be injured? Then just go with the best guy on the field.
Yeah. If you find out that a manager's panicking over this, you jump all over that.
Yeah.
No question. Does this affect, obviously it affects Kelsey. Does this affect Mahomes much?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it should, but he's just not really a human being, so probably not. He'll find some way. Fucking he'll probably run more, get you more fantasy points. So who knows?
And then my last question on this is: any of those wide receivers, does that boost them a little bit here? Mike, what do you think?
Well, I'm not gonna.
You kept on getting closer and closer to the camera, so.
Well, I was like, Doug, don't bring that up because we're gonna do start sit, and I don't want to ruin the episode. But that's one of my guys right there. So maybe we talk about that later on in the episode.
Okay, so that's your reasoning. All right.
Yeah, I would say watch them for a week or two and then jump on the fab on the waiver wire. It's hard to pick one right now. I think there's just too much uncertainty.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. There still is. There's no alpha there right now, and Kadarius Toney, they are saying he's going to be playing, so I don't know. Maybe he's going to be a steal from drafts because that kid is super talented. All right, let's get going on the show here. Let's do our start sits of the week of week 1. And Mike, you want to start with the quarterback? Who's your quarterback to start this week? And your quarterback to sit this week.
All right, we're going start sit first, then storylines.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, my start sit for quarterbacks. My start is Geno Smith. I mean they have an easy matchup. The Rams literally have Aaron Donald and then scrubs on defense. So I think typically whoever's playing the Rams, you can probably stream their quarterback as an option. But you give it to Geno Smith, who was the QB5 last year, and that's a start all day. My sit is Danny Dimes. Joe, I know I have this stat. I have this little thing for you because I know you're going to say, I always say it's an offensive league, but the Cowboys defense is just too good. And when you have a high-powered defense against a high-powered offense, the high-powered offense wins. But this isn't a high-powered offense, and the Cowboys defense is going to win that matchup.
Yeah, Joe likes that defense too, though. Joe does like the Cowboys defense, so I don't think he's going to fight you too much on that.
No, we saw my Super Bowl prediction is the Cowboys, and I think they're just going to ride out that defense like crazy this year.
Yep. All right, Joe, who's your start and sit?
So my start is Sam Howell. I think there's just too much talent at that wide receiver position in Washington because I think they have multiple options and a lot of speed for him. And I think those guys with Eric Bieniemy first year OC there coming over from KC. I think he's going to implement a lot of good things in that offense. My sit, we all know how I feel about this guy, Anthony Richardson, week 1, bench his ass, let him get some splinters on your team because especially against the Jags' fast defense, they should they just don't let him run. Doug Peterson, play zone, spy, don't let him run. He's going to turn the ball over. Easy sit.
I think that's a perfect example too. Like if you're somebody that drafted Anthony Richardson as your quarterback, I mean, I don't agree with that. I would start Sam Howell over him, but that's a good example of a start sit in a particular area. You have Richardson as your quarterback, go ahead and start Howell over him. That's pretty out there. That's a hot take.
Yeah, for Howell it is because they're both kind of unknown commodities right now. So
he looked good. That's all I'll say.
I hope so. I hope he does. Andy,
All
who's
right,
your
well,
start sit?
That's funny because actually my start was Sam Howell. So let's go, Joe.
All right.
We're back on the same page.
Realistically, he did look much better than anticipated in the preseason, and he's playing the fucking Cardinals. Like I could put up fantasy points against the Cardinals. And then my sit is Matthew Stafford. Yeah, missed a lot of last season with the injury, and Cooper Kupp's out. So I mean that offense is gonna be bad.
All right. I got for my start sit, I got Jared Goff as a start. They're going up against the Chiefs. They're going to have to put up some points, even with Kelsey out, possibly. The Chiefs are still going to put up points, and the Lions are going to have to keep up with them. So for my sit, I'm going to go Deshaun Watson. Reason for that is really he hasn't looked good this preseason in training camp, and he looked like trash last year. So he's got to prove it again before anyone should start him to see if he's going to get back to his old self.
I like your start, Doug, because I'm taking Goff over, Marvin Jones over, and Amon St. Brown over in my same game parlay tomorrow night. So,
yeah, I think Goff is going to have a pretty big night tomorrow night. And so going back to that Anthony Richardson thing, Mike and I share a team, and we drafted Anthony Richardson first in that league. And then we drafted Goff a few rounds later. We're going to start Goff. You know,
yeah, week 1 we're starting Goff. And
yeah, week 1 we're starting Goff. Go ahead, Mike.
We're also benching his wide receiver at the same time too, because we just have no faith in Anthony Richardson week 1.
No, you can't. You can't. So, all right, Mike. Running backs. Who you starting?
Running backs. I got the 2 Commanders running backs. I got Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson. I'm not saying start them both on the same team, but feel confident if you have one or the other that they're going to produce. They're going against a Cardinals team that has no defensive line and no quarterback. That is just a recipe for a running game. The Commanders just run that clock out, get a quick W, and it's going to come in the hands of Gibson and Robinson. That's why, I mean, when you guys say Howell, I like Howell. I just don't like him for this game because I don't think they're going to need him to do much to win.
Yeah, they might
rely
on
the
those 2
Cardinals
backs.
still have a decent defensive line. I think they have bad secondary.
They have a good pass rush. I don't think the rush defense. I don't think they were very good. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, so I could be completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure they weren't good against the rush. Anyway, my sit is it's coming from my own team. I'm an Eagles fan, and I just don't have confidence in DeAndre Swift. I wish I did because everybody else seems to have it, but I don't think he's won that role. I think it's a timeshare between him, Penny, and Gainwell. And when you have a timeshare against the Patriots and Bill Belichick and what that defense does, I mean, they were second best against the rush last year. I think they keep that up this year. They didn't lose many pieces on that defense, and Belichick's a defensive genius. I'm just waiting on DeAndre Swift this week and seeing if he actually has that role or not.
All right. Yeah, I think that's a good sit because you just don't know. You don't know yet who's going to take that over. Joe, who's your start sit for running backs?
So my start is J.K. Dobbins. Playing the Texans. Texans allowed the most rushing yards last season. I also think that this Ravens offense wants to run the ball first. I think they want to slowly incorporate the wide receivers. I'm sure they're going to take some deep threats, but I think they're going to be a run first offense for most of the year. And I think this is a perfect opportunity to get Dobbins going. And my sit is James Conner. I love James Conner for the season. I don't like him week one against Washington. Washington has a very big front four. And then with no quarterback for Arizona, I mean, I don't believe in the kid. And I just see Washington just putting 6-7 in the box and just daring them to pass the ball against them.
Yeah.
So can I bring up a few running back? Because I just to sit James Conner, I just want to see where your line is of flex options.
Go ahead.
Let's see. Let's play the game.
Would you start James Conner or Isaiah Pacheco?
Isaiah Pacheco.
Okay. James Conner or DeAndre Swift?
I would start DeAndre Swift. I don't understand what you don't like about DeAndre Swift this week.
Okay. James Conner or Khalil Herbert?
Probably Khalil Herbert still. That one's the
Okay.
closest one out of all of them, but
Yeah.
I think Connor puts up very low numbers. I don't see Arizona scoring very much at all.
All right, I'm going to find the line quick. I'm going to find the line right here. James Conner or Samaje Perine?
I still might play as Perine because
Wow.
Javonte Williams isn't 100%. And I
Yeah.
think Perine's going to get worked into this offense. We talked about Sean Payton, and he went there because Sean Payton told him he's going to have a role in this offense. But he still didn't find the line.
No, I didn't find the line, but I think that's good enough.
Hot
I mean,
take.
you
It could be a
mentioned
hot take, but
James Conner or OJ Simpson?
James Conner. O.J. Simpson's a piece of shit, Doug.
The other thing, so I want to go back to your J.K. Dobbins a little bit. Todd Monken is the new coordinator there. Isn't he like a pass heavy guy? Isn't he all about Lamar Jackson throwing the hell out of the ball this year?
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. Again, they're playing the Texans, and the Texans have the worst rush defense.
So you think it'll be a more conservative game plan?
I just think you got to play the numbers game a little bit. I think if you don't, then what kind of OC are you?
That is it's a 10-point spread on that game. So if there's, I think it's the highest spread this week. So if there's a rushing opportunity, Dobbins has it.
All right, let's leave
Thanks,
Joe
Mike.
alone. Let's stop picking on his picks.
Keep coming, man. I got
Andy.
answers for days.
Andy, who's your start sit running backs? Yeah, he likes the attention too much, actually.
He does. He loves it. My start is David Montgomery. We all think this is going to be a high-scoring game tomorrow without Chris Jones playing. I really think David Montgomery is going to have a huge game. They really don't have much receivers either, so I can see Jahmyr Gibbs getting split out a lot more. I can see DeMont playing a lot of possessions. So he's my start. And honestly, it's more of a start him over. So my sit is start him over basically any other flex running back. And I got him over a couple RB2s this week. I had Najee Harris in there, but I know we've beaten that. We've beaten that a little too many times. So I'm just going to take him as my number one flex option. All right.
Yeah, I like that too because the Athletic just came out and I think it was kind of obvious, but they're saying that he's going to be the goal line back there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Jamal Williams had 17 touchdowns as the goal line back last year. So
if he doesn't get a dozen touchdowns, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah. All right. So, your sit was just everybody else. Okay. So my start sit is Jamal Williams is my start. He's the starter there for the first 3 games of the season with Kamara gone, and there's just no healthy backs there. I mean, it might be Taysom Hill as the backup back for him this weekend. So, because I think who's the other guy?
Kendre Miller. I think he's back now.
Was he practicing? I didn't think he was practicing today, but maybe.
Or maybe they were saying he was gonna. They expect him to be ready for Sunday. But
okay. But either way,
even if he is, he's
Either way, Jamal Williams, he's going to eat this weekend. So I like him as the And we just said he had 17 touchdowns last year. So he's a touchdown vulture right there, too. All right. My sit is Brees Hall. And, obviously he's a super talented running back, but we just don't know yet. We don't know how he's going to come off that injury. And then you got Dalvin Cook there that's going to be taking a lot of carries and time away from him. So I think it's a wait and see kind of thing when it comes to Brees Hall, for me at least, if I drafted him.
And they're probably not going to score a point anyway. So
same range as Joe with Brees Hall?
Same range as Joe. Where is that range?
The names that we mentioned for Joe, are you starting those guys over Brees Hall? Because I think the people that drafted Brees Hall, they might, they drafted him potentially as the RB1, most likely the RB2.
Yeah.
But it's a big ask to say bench your RB2 week 1. So
it is. But I think anyone who drafted him should have kind of known going into it that you're going to need another running back probably for week 1 or 2. So yeah, I think I would like Khalil Herbert, 100%. I'd play him over. I think P Ryan probably is that's the point where it's like, yeah, Brees Hall has that high upside, Yeah. All right. Wide receiver, Mike, starts it.
All right. Well, we talked about Kelsey. I don't think he's playing. I mean, you're hyperextending your knee. Again, you guys already touched on it. You got to play for the season. I mean, what is he, 34 years old? So you take it easy with him week 1. Patrick Mahomes, he has to find somebody else to throw to. And I think it's going to be Sky Moore. Joe, I'm doing that because I said Patrick Mahomes. Like his name's Pat Mahomes. No one calls him Patrick. So, but anyway, I think Sky Moore is going to be the guy week 1. No Kelsey. Tony's probably limited on his first week back. Rashee Rice just isn't ready to be that guy yet. And MVS just isn't good. So I think it's going to be Sky Moore.
All right.
And then my sit is a little too much Hornitos. My sit is probably even
we have
if he
sponsors
plays
now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're paying us for this.
Yeah.
Even if he plays, I'm sitting Jerry Jeudy. I think he's going to come back limited, and might be out there on a snap count. So I would start Marvin Mims if he's out there over Jerry Jeudy. So if he's back, just sit Jerry Jeudy, wait and see until he's healthy.
All right. I don't think we can argue that approach. Joe, you usually can argue, though, pretty much anything.
Yeah, I just don't like anything about it. But I'm going to leave him be.
Okay. All right.
You don't like that you're going to start Jeudy?
I don't like Sky Moore. I don't like starting Sky Moore. Jeudy, I don't think Jeudy is an option. I don't think Judy's going to play. And I don't like Jeudy. I like Sutton better than Jeudy anyway.
Okay, so for Sky
Moore,
with
that one.
Yeah. Who would you rather start if you're starting one of the Chiefs wide receivers?
This week I'd rather start Valdes-Scantling.
Okay. Just for that big chunk play that he might have like a one catch for 50 yards kind of thing.
I think all through speed. I think either defense is going to play that good week 1. And I think he drops the ball a lot, but if I was taking a shot, it'd be my shot.
Okay. I think we had a little bit of an internet connection there, but issue.
Yeah.
But
you're frozen now, Doug. I was just sitting back. I was like, anything Joe's saying right now is not
being
be
picked up
because
no, that's all right.
Doug was just frozen. Yeah,
Valdes-Scantling, deep ball, speed. I think it's just going to be a higher scoring game tomorrow night.
All right. So Joe, who's your start sit?
So my start is Van Jefferson. I think with Cooper Kupp, not playing, I think I know it's a contract year for Van Jefferson. So his opportunity is big this year, and he's a downfield threat. Seattle definitely has tough corners, but I think that they're probably going to be down. Like Mike said, he's starting Geno Smith. I think Seattle's going to score a lot. I think the Rams are going to have to throw, and Van Jefferson is their top receiver, so I'm taking that. My sit, Andy is not going to like But my sit is Gabe Davis, and it's not that I don't like Gabe Davis. It's Gabe Davis's numbers last year against the Jets. In the first game, he went 2 for 33 and no touchdowns. In the second game, he went 3 for 31 for no touchdowns. And to me, those numbers just speak for themselves. I'm not saying he's not going to have a good year, but this game, I'm not trusting him against the Jets and their corners.
Yeah, he's kind of been a boom bust guy anyway so far in his career. Hopefully it changes, but so far. So Van Jefferson, just want to go back on that real quick. Not many people drafted him at all, really, let alone starting him week 1. So who are you? I mean, unless you completely mess up an auction league, who are you?
Nah, man, I had faith in. I picked up Van Jefferson in another league. I like Van Jefferson. I also like KJ Osborne, so I'm okay with my wide receivers
Joe,
in that league.
Real quick, in the other league that you have Van Jefferson, he's your what? 4 wide receiver 4, I would imagine.
He's my wide receiver 3 or 4. Yeah.
Do you know who's in front of him? Like, would you start him in front of some of the guys on that team?
In that league, I have.
I mean, he's a flex play. We're not starting him over a 1 or 2 guy. You know.
Yeah, I can't remember, but
Yeah,
I
that's
think
fine.
he's a strong flex play this week.
Yeah,
I'm not starting him over one of my top 2 wide receivers. Well, in the auction league, I am.
All right, we've spent way too much time on Van Jefferson. I apologize. Andy, start sit wide receiver.
I am starting Rashad Bateman. Texans D's trash. I think Rashad Bateman is the number 1 on that team. I think OBJ is a little washed. So, I mean, he's a first round pick. This is the prove it year. So he's got to come out strong. You got to come out, look good, look the part before Zay Flowers just kind of starts taking every ball from him. So I believe in Bateman. Think this is his week starting him. And I'm sitting DJ Moore. 2 names: Justin Fields, Jair Alexander. That's it.
Yeah, this would be the week to
Good
sit
point.
him. I mean, it's tough sitting a guy like that though. Like, I think I drafted a lot of DJ Moore, and I think I'm probably going to start him just because. And he's going to be a flex in some of them, but I don't know. When you use that much draft equity on a guy, it's hard to sit him week 1 because I'll kick myself if he does break away for some 50-yard touchdown. You know.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say, if there's a week to sit him, it's this week, like Andy said.
Yeah.
Not knowing if Fields is jumping up this year, and then Jair Alexander is one of the best in the
Yeah,
league.
no, I don't think it's a bad call. It's just it's tough to do it when you drafted him so high. That's all. All right. So my start is Jahan Dotson. He's a 2nd-year wide receiver, super skillful. You guys already talked about Sam Howell. You guys already talked about Arizona. We don't need to really talk about that too much more. Also, Scary Terry is a little banged up, so I think they're going to be feeding Jahan in this game. And my sit is Michael Pittman, and we've already kind of shit on Anthony Richardson a ton in this one as well, and that is why. It's because Anthony Richardson is his quarterback, so I am going to sit Michael Pittman in any league I have.
That was great points, Doug.
Yeah, beautiful.
That was awesome.
Did it freeze up again?
Well done. No.
Heard everywhere.
Well, you know what? On my end, it probably was okay. I think
it's gonna run for the show. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, it'll run for the show.
You were talking to 3 blank faces.
yeah. But you know what?
Usually
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, same as always. All right, Mike, your tight ends.
All right.
I gotta upgrade
My
this internet.
start for tight end is Dalton. Yeah, no, honestly, you really need
Well,
to.
you know, it's worse. It's worse
Dalton Schultz.
when the wife and son are definitely using something right now. So a few devices, I'm sure, are going on.
Just
go ahead, Dalton Schultz.
Get a better package there, Doug.
We'll get a better package.
Yes, Dalton Schultz. Yeah, and then after that, get some better internet too. But Dalton Schultz is my start.
Okay, Mike. All right.
Got him. It's CJ's first game. I think if there's a game that you can start Dalton Schultz, this is it. He's going to look downfield. He's not going to have the confidence to throw it. He's going to look 5 yards in front of him. Who's going to be standing there like this? It's Dalton. He's not for fantasy every week. But this week, I don't know, 6-7 catches for 50 yards. And if you didn't draft a top tier tight end, that's not bad. It's a good option. My sit is Greg Dulcich. I think most people already are sitting Greg Dulcich, so it's not that big of a task here to sit him. But in case you drafted him, I think this is the wait and see type of approach. Is Troutman going to get some of these snaps over him? Who's actually going to get the receiving down? So if you drafted him, just wait and see. There's probably some better options on the waiver wire to play this week that have bigger upside.
Yeah, Dulcich wasn't drafted as a starter in most. Yeah, right.
No, but if you completely punted and he is your starter, because that happens, then go get a Jake Ferguson or if who are the other guys we brought up? Jawan Johnson or something like that, you know?
Hunter Henry. All right, Joe.
Hunter Henry could be it.
Joe, who's your tight who's your tight ends? Start sit.
So my starting sits are, if you do like I do in drafts and pretty much punt tight end, unless you draft Darren Waller. But my start is Gerald Everett, and it's just basically quick. Dolphins, Chargers, high scoring game, and Dolphins have very good depth at cornerback position. Xavier Howard, Jalen Ramsey. It's not a good matchup for the wide receivers. Should be opportunity for Everett. My sit is Chigo Okonkwo. I think that was that right? Hopefully it was right.
You got it. You nailed that. Yeah.
He was practicing in his mind for a while there.
Burks looks like he's good to go for week 1. Saints, though, have a very good defense against the pass last year, and it should probably they didn't really change a whole lot on it, so it should roll into this year as well. So I just don't like that matchup.
All right. Andy, who's your tight end starts it?
My start, you guys probably could have guessed, Tyler Higbee. I had this in before the Cup was officially ruled out. I mean, not much else to say there. Stafford has nowhere else to throw the ball. Van Jefferson, I can't believe we're going to talk about him again, but if Tariq Woolen's
getting a lot of play
playing,
time.
I'm assuming he's more involved in this podcast and he's going to be in that game. If Woolen's on him, he's not doing shit. And then my sit is kind of a big name. Kittle. I think they're going to be a very old school football game between the Steelers and the Niners. I'm not entirely sure a lot of points going to get scored. I think play clock gets chewed up. So passing in that whole game, and the Steelers D is very, very legit. So,
are you starting your start over your sit? Higbee over Kittle?
Yeah, I'm. But we know I'm a little biased on Higbee. But yes, I'm starting Higbee over Kittle.
Yeah, I think I probably would too, to be honest. Week 1 here with Cup out, I don't think that's a bad call. All right, so my start for my tight end is the same exact guy, Tyler Higbee, and yeah, I think he's going to be the number 1 target there this week. So we don't need to talk about him anymore. And then my sit is Pat Freiermuth, and I think he could be the 4th option this week. You know, behind the running backs and behind, obviously, Pickens and Deontay, and it's just a tough matchup with the Niners. That's a great D.
Yeah, with Bosa back too, he's going to have to stay in and block more, like we talked about earlier.
Yes. Yep. I saved that for you, Joe. I knew you wanted to say that.
Thanks, man.
All right, Mike. Defense starts at.
Do we all just want to count to 3 and say the name at the same time, or because it's the Washington Commanders, right? Like everybody has them,
did we all say it? Did we all have it?
No,
I knew.
It's too obvious.
Yeah, I knew that Mike was going to say Commanders, and I thought maybe you would too.
Way too obvious. Who's not starting
the second most obvious defense? Yeah, that's what I want.
You know who's not starting? The Commanders are the people that don't do the research and are sitting here listening like, what? Who should I start on defense? I don't know. I need Mike's opinion to make my decision for me.
They don't want to think about
it. Did you look up the own percentage of Washington defense right now? I bet you it's high.
No, I did not look that up.
I bet you it's very high. I checked, not one league are they available that I'm in. And I'm in.
All right, let's say you're a typical New Englander, right? Which we all are. And we'll we're all New Englanders, and you have that one person in every single draft that go ahead and they get every Patriot that they can imagine, and they have the Patriots defense, right? I'm
None of
telling
this
them,
matters if Washington is not
bench the
available,
Patriots
though.
defense and go get the Commanders.
I think Andy's looking it up right now, and I hope he is.
Oh, he definitely is. Yeah.
I got distracted. Hold on.
Oh, God.
Going back in now.
He was not doing
Going
that.
back in now.
Jesus
Go to your
Christ, Dan.
sit while he looks it up, Rossi. Go to your
Hold on,
sit
I'll
while
do
he
it.
looks it up.
Oh, yeah. All right. My
72%
sit.
rostered. They're rostered.
72%.
Okay.
That's high.
Okay. Go look at what the percentage on Tyler Higbee is. I bet you it's right about the same, and no one gave that shit. Anyway, my sit is the Buffalo Bills, Andy. I think
Is that
I
it?
think
Is that your case?
it's just I wanted to shit on
Yeah.
Andy. That's it.
Andy.
Yeah.
You did good, man. Great,
No,
great
but
job.
I think the Bills are going to win this
Bravo.
game. I think they're a good defense, but I mean, Aaron Rodgers is he's coming out to prove himself this year. And if anything, even if it's not a high scoring game, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to turn the ball over much, and it's going to be much upside to the defense. Maybe they end up with 4 or 5 points, but there's defenses out there that are going to end up with more points that have bigger upside of a pick six, more sacks, things like that, than playing against one of the best to ever play the position. So I'm starting the Bills. I'm benching the Bills this week.
Yeah, I mean, statistically speaking, I'm just going to say this. I don't think the Bills D is going to be that good this year. Fantasy purposes, I just don't. When they get Vaughn back and they can get it after the quarterback a little bit, yeah, but they're getting a little older. They got no middle linebacker. It's going to be an offensive team.
Who's up?
I don't know what happened. I think we lost.
I thought I was
We
waiting
lost for a
Doug.
second.
Doug usually does the little, the push intro or something. My bad.
I was waiting for him to be over completely. No, go
yeah,
ahead, Joe.
I had nothing to say. I said enough to Rossi tonight. My start is the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are playing Carolina this week. You're going up against a rookie quarterback in his first game who has no wide receivers to throw the football to. I think they're going to try to run the ball. If they get behind, which I think this Falcons offense has potential to score, that means he has to throw, and this could be the week that the Falcons have their highest turnover mark of the season. So I'm taking a shot with the Falcons defense. My sit this week is the Chargers. Chargers normally are a solid play on defense. I think they have a lot of talent with Bosa and James. But playing the Dolphins this week and that offense and their head coach, I just don't. I can't play it. They're going to put up points. Those guys has got too much speed. Sit the Chargers this week. Don't mess with it.
All right. Good calls. Go ahead, Mike.
I
thought Mike was saying
Mike,
something.
No, I didn't say shit. No, I was just sitting back, relaxing.
All right. Go ahead, Andy.
I kind of went super easy on this one. I am starting the Ravens. They're playing the Texans. Yeah, they're not gonna score a lot of points. And then I'm sitting Kansas City. Obviously, no Chris Jones, but you're going up against the top 5 offense from last year. So
Yeah.
Nothing, Joe?
I got nothing. Those are good.
No, I like both of them. What do you not
No,
like?
of course you like the fucking Ravens over the Texans. You gave me shit because the Commanders were too obvious. The Ravens over the Texans isn't too obvious.
I'll take I would pick Commanders over Ravens if I could choose this week. Against Arizona, I'm taking Washington.
All right. I also had Washington. I was gonna try to look to see.
Fucking easy
another
way
guy I
out.
really
Easy
liked.
pickings.
But my sit of the week is the Jets, and I think the Jets are gonna have a good D this year. It's just they're facing the Bills week 1, and the Bills are just probably top 3 offense in the league. So you don't really want to touch that week 1. Top 4, Mike.
I don't know, I'm just giving them a hard time.
But yeah, maybe their D's not that good though. Like you said, that could hurt them. Could hurt them a little bit. All right, so that's our start sits of the week. Well done, boys. Next up,
longer than anticipated.
Very long.
It really
Much
was, yeah.
longer than it should have been.
Yeah, I figured it was gonna take about that much time.
Well,
That's because you two don't shut the hell up.
we got a couple talkers in here.
Yeah,
Lot to
dog.
say. Lot to say.
All right, let's be try to be a little more brief with these
Impossible.
storylines. I think it's probably impossible because the storylines are a little bit longer.
But I did so much research.
Don't worry, I'll be quicker with these, I think.
It's not that your points take forever. It's that you have to argue every single thing Mike says, which in turn makes his twice as long. is really the problem. Whatever.
Okay, week 1 storylines. Mike, start us off again. What's your
All right.
first one?
I got Dallas tight ends. I'm very interested in how often Dak throws to his tight ends. Now that he has a good wide receiver on both sides of the ball, is he going to spread it out more, or is he still going to go to his safety blanket and give the ball to whoever that guy is? And that's another thing I'm watching for, is who's getting the snap counts. Is it Ferguson? Is it the rookie Schoonmaker? Is it Hendershot? I'm interested to see who's on the field and if they're getting the target still from Dak.
Good job, Mike. That was pretty quick.
I had stats. I didn't even bring them up.
All right, Joe. Week 1
So
storyline.
my first thing I'm watching is this Green Bay offense. What is Matt LaFleur going to do with Jordan Love? How much are they actually going to throw the ball with these young wide receivers? And is he going to trust Jordan Love if there's a moment in the game? He looked better in the preseason than I thought he was going to, but I want to see what he looks against a real defense for a full game.
Yeah, and is Dobbs questionable right now?
Dobbs is questionable.
I think it's his hammy too, actually. So, and Christian Watson, actually, I did see that he missed the practice today too, and it didn't say why. I'd have to look that up. I'll look it up. Andy, what's your storyline? Week 1.
Week 1, first storyline. I'm looking for the Saints passing attack. I want to see kind of how that. Doug touched on the running backs being hurt. I want to see how Derek Carr kind of moves the ball around. I think he's the best quarterback that's been in New Orleans since Drew Brees went retired. So mostly, I think we all know Olave's going to get his. I really just kind of want to see where Mike Thomas is. What am I looking for from Mike Thomas? I got a decent amount of Mike Thomas stock. I think I got him as a wide receiver 5 in 2 leagues. So if I could get some good play out of him, make me very happy.
Yeah, he's obviously got a super high ceiling that we've already seen. So you never know. Christian Watson was a hamstring as well. So they got some hammy issues going on there. Yeah.
could be a tough road.
Could be. My week 1 storyline, one of them is Joe Burrow. I have a lot of stock in Jamar Chase. I've talked a lot about Jamar Chase early on in the podcast. And I just want to see how he looks coming off that calf injury. I want to see if the offensive line is giving him time to throw it deep to those guys. If he can't move well, I want to see how he's moving in the pocket. I want to see if he's scrambling at all. So yeah, it's all about Joe Burrow. Let's see how he looks week 1. Mike, what's your second storyline?
Mine is the Ravens offense. I mean, there's a lot to talk about this year. There's a lot to change than last year. Obviously, Monken came in, and they're saying they're going to throw the ball more. One, does that happen? And if it does, is Lamar still going to the tight ends as often as he was last year? I mean, they led the league in targets to tight ends last year. Does that continue, or now does he have Bateman, Beckham, and Zay Flowers? Do they get some of those targets, and it kind of spreads out more? And then to go off of that again, who is the number 1? Who's on the field when there's 2 wide receivers? Who's Lamar looking to first, and who's coming down and making plays in week 1? I'm interested to find out who that guy is in Baltimore.
Yeah, on the depth chart right now, it's OBJ and Bateman. Zay Flowers not starting, but I don't know
how long does that last.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, he's definitely looked the best. Joe, what's your second story?
Number 2 is Eric Bieniemy that good? Obviously, 2 of us are buying Sam Howell, and Doug was buying Dotson this week. I think it's more about the matchup. against Arizona. But if they put up a poor showing against Arizona, then what's this offense going to be all year long? They should come out firing, and they should be able to put up points. And let's see what the different, if Eric Bieniemy is the difference maker, can do something with this offense and get, that head coaching job possibly, if he can turn this offense around.
I'm rooting for him so hard, man. I just want him to get his opportunity and just go prove that not all Andy Reid. He had a big say in that.
Or Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
but he must just bomb interviews. I mean, how many has he had?
Yeah, he's got it.
All right, Andy.
All right, Joe. This is the last time I'm going to talk about this. I promise. This is it. This is the last one.
This is it. What are we doing here? Why am I here? Why am I even here?
I give Najee Harris a lot of shit. It's mostly just to bust Joe's balls. I do not think he's a good football player. We've been over this, but it is hands down his job, right? He's the starting back. I just want to watch and see if he can actually perform. Because if he doesn't, like everybody who watches him can say, is he going to lose that starting job? I don't think it's as questionable as we make it seem on the podcast, just to play around, but it is a legitimate option. So I'm watching the running game. I'm watching Najee Harris. That's my second storyline.
I want to bring up a quick story, and only Joe is going to get this reference, but I'll explain it.
Oh, me and Joe have played.
Yeah, no, I'm going to explain it. Me and Joe, we've played a lot of Madden. We've done a lot of franchises in our day, and we used to create our guys, right, all the time. And Joe one year put his guy as a tight end, and there was a backup fullback who was a 64 rating, who we moved to tight end to be Joe's backup, and we just forced the issue of this guy being good. And he ended up taking Joe's spot as the starter and ended up being good in the NFL. His name was Chris Cooley. We all remember Chris Cooley.
Oh, yeah.
And I just really hope that the same exact thing that happened to Joe happens to Najee, and Jaylen Warren just takes that position. And oh man, I just can't wait for it to happen.
Shane is going to enjoy that so much that you put that on the podcast. He's going to freaking love it.
It's actually pretty good. I like it. All right.
Of course you would, Doug.
Hey, I liked Chris Cooley. He was
great. The guy was great.
Yeah. No, it's got nothing to do with enjoying my pain.
Well, a little bit of that. A little bit. All right. My week 2 storyline is a little bit of Homer thing. I'm really curious about these Patriot wide receivers and if they even matter in fantasy is part of it. Yeah. Joe just puked all over the place.
Yeah. I gagged. It was bad.
Is there a dog that just threw up? Like, what just happened?
I gagged.
Doug goes, yeah. Doug goes, yeah. Joe
great point, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point, Joe.
That's you. I'm so used to hearing that.
I like what you came with. It'll be interesting to see if any of these guys are going to step it up. I mean,
just keep going. You lost, Andy. You're losing me. Him. Just keep going. Just go. Just go.
You got the rookie wide receivers.
Sorry.
You got Juju with a banged up knee. You got Devontae Parker, who I think was limited at practice today. It's going to be interesting to see if any of these guys come out to be relevant in fantasy. And I think Kendrick Bourne is the only guy that actually really could. And we'll see.
Yeah, we all listened to that, dog. It was great points.
We'll see. All right.
I'll go to my third one. All right, so I got the Panthers versus Falcons game just in general. It's Bryce Young's first game. It's Ritter's team now. It's Bijan's first game. Are they going to throw it deep? Are they going to check it down to Bijan, go to Pitts, London? It's all brand new, and I'm just excited for these guys to get their opportunity and see how it unfolds. And also, I'm excited for the split between Bijan and Algier. And shut the fuck up, would you? And when Algier's on the field, does Bijan come off the field, or is he still
crying?
Yeah, he's crying. He's done.
Yeah.
He's done.
I don't even think
All
we can go
I'm-
back to him.
That's it. All right.
Yeah.
Panthers, Falcons, next.
All right. So my third one is what Russell Wilson are we gonna get? Obviously, we know the Super Bowl caliber Russell Wilson that we've seen in Seattle. The freaking god awful Russell Wilson we saw last year. Can Sean Payton be different?
Don't look at that
for this
square.
team
Just
in this offense?
going.
I mean, I gotta talk looking down right now. So, but Russell Wilson, what are we gonna get out of him? That's what I want to know.
All right. And you want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay. My third one's the Bears offense. And I know Andy hates this Bears offense. They didn't look good in the preseason. He's sitting DJ Moore week 1. But I'm interested to see if Justin Fields can take that next step, especially with DJ Moore there. That they went and got that new shiny toy for them. Is he going to be like a Steph Diggs light there? Also Khalil Herbert. What's he going to look like? Is he going to hold on to that starting position? These guys.
Andy, send us off.
Andy,
All right.
do you have a
So,
third storyline?
I have a third storyline. Yep. I am looking for first round rookie playtime. So all 4 of those first round rookie.
Those Wookiees, man.
Your face is so red.
This is now a Star Wars podcast, everybody.
I just want to see. Oh God. most of those offenses were running 3 wide receiver sets. Because I feel like they're all wide receiver 3s, at least on their depth charts. And then I'm looking for Kincaid. The Bills going to run, they're going to run 12 personnel like they've been promising. And when they go to, a split like 3 wide, is Kincaid going to get that slot job? And then obviously, as Mike just touched on, the Bijan Algier split. And I want to see what Jahmyr Gibbs does. I really do. I'm very excited to watch that game tomorrow night.
Andy,
And I'm
when
sorry.
you talk about
I'm
rookie wide receivers, are you interested in Washi Weiss? Is that what, is he up there?
We go.
All right.
Can we end this fucking
Let's end
podcast?
this. Let's end this. All right. So for Mike, Joe, Andy, I'm Doug. Enjoy football tomorrow night. We'll see you next time.